Long ago, in the land that would become Rome, there was a great and powerful city called Alba Longa. Its king, Numitor, was a kind and just ruler. But his brother Amulius was greedy and cruel. Amulius wanted the throne for himself, so he overthrew Numitor and cast him out. To make sure no one would challenge him, Amulius forced Numitor's daughter, Rhea Silvia, to become a priestess of Vesta. This meant she could never marry or have children, or so Amulius thought. But the gods had other plans. Mars, the god of war, saw Rhea Silvia and fell in love with her. From their union, twin boys were born, Romulus and Remus. When Amulius heard of this, he was furious. He ordered the babies to be thrown into the Tiber river to drown. The servant tasked with this cruel deed could not bring himself to kill the infants, so he placed them in a basket and set them adrift on the river, hoping someone would find them. The basket floated downstream until it caught in the roots of a fig tree near a place called Palatine Hill. There, a she-wolf heard the cries of the babies. Unlike other wolves, this one was gentle. She took the twins to her den and nursed them as if they were her own. A woodpecker sacred to Mars brought them food as well. The wolf and the woodpecker kept them alive until a shepherd named Faustulus found them. He and his wife, Acca Larentia, raised the boys as their own sons. As Romulus and Remus grew, they became strong and brave. They led other shepherds in daring raids and became known for their courage. One day, they were captured and brought before King Amulius himself. The king did not recognize them, but Faustulus knew the truth. He told the twins about their royal blood and how Amulius had stolen their grandfather's throne. Filled with anger, Romulus and Remus gathered their followers and marched on Alba Longa. They killed Amulius and restored their grandfather Numitor to the throne. Now free, the twins decided to build a city of their own near the spot where the she-wolf had saved them. But they could not agree on where to place it. Romulus wanted to build on Palatine Hill, while Remus preferred Aventine Hill. They decided to let the gods choose by watching the sky for signs. Remus saw 6 vultures first and claimed this as a sign of the gods' favor. But soon after, Romulus saw 12 vultures and declared his own victory. The brothers argued, and in his anger, Romulus began building a wall around his chosen hill. Remus, still upset, mocked his brother by jumping over the unfinished wall, saying, "Such a weak wall will never protect your city." Enraged, Romulus struck him down. Some say he killed Remus himself, while others say it was one of his followers. Either way, Remus died, and Romulus was left alone to build his city. He named it Rome, after himself, and became its first king. The story of Romulus and Remus was very important to the Romans. They saw it as the beginning of their great empire. Many artists carved their images into stone to honor them. In Roman reliefs, we often see the she-wolf nursing the twins, a symbol of Rome's wild and noble beginnings. The twins are shown as strong young men, sometimes with the wolf beside them. These carvings remind people of the city's legendary past. One famous relief shows the she-wolf with Romulus and Remus beneath her. The twins reach up to her while she looks down with a protective gaze. This image appears on coins, statues, and even buildings. Another relief shows the twins as adults, standing side by side, ready for battle. These carvings were not just art, they were a way for Romans to remember their history and feel pride in their origins. The legend of Romulus and Remus also explains why the wolf was so important in Roman culture. Wolves were seen as strong and fearless, just like the founders of Rome. The Romans believed that the spirit of the she-wolf lived on in their city, protecting it from harm. Even today, the image of the wolf and twins remains a powerful symbol of Rome's past. But the story does not end with Romulus becoming king. His rule was harsh at times, and Rome was not yet the great city it would become. He needed people to live there, so he opened the city to outcasts and runaway slaves. But there were few women, So Romulus devised a plan. He invited the neighboring Sabine people to a festival. When the Sabine men were distracted, the Romans seized their women and took them as wives. This event, known as the rape of the Sabine women, led to war between the Romans and the Sabines. The fighting was fierce, but the Sabine women, now wives and mothers to Roman children, stepped between the armies. They begged both sides to stop, saying they did not want to lose their fathers or their husbands. Moved by their pleas, the two peoples made peace. The Sabines joined Rome, making the city stronger. Romulus ruled for many years, but his end was as mysterious as his beginning. One day, while reviewing his troops, a storm swept in. Dark clouds covered the sky, and when the storm passed, Romulus was gone. Some said he had been taken by the gods to become a deity himself. Others whispered that the senators, tired of his rule, had killed him. Whatever the truth, the Romans honored him as a god and called him Quirinus. The story of Romulus and Remus is more than just a myth. It shaped how the Romans saw themselves, as descendants of warriors protected by the gods. The images carved in stone were not just decorations. They were a way to keep the legend alive, to remind every Roman of where they came from. Even today, when we look at these ancient reliefs, we can almost hear the howl of the she-wolf and the shouts of the twins as they built their city. The stone may be old, but the story it tells is timeless, a tale of survival, brotherhood, and the birth of an empire. The wolf twins Romulus and Remus will forever be a part of Rome's soul, carved not just in stone, but in history itself.